Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Just me rambling and talking about, whatever around here. I kind of had another thing that I wanted to talk about today. And it's mainly this fact that, being in this position, NEET, air quotes. Like I said, I hate generalization, but the only way that people usually connect with something is when they feel like, you're in the same position as them. Or if you identify as the same thing as them. One of the bad sides about these videos when I'm recording them outside is mainly just something always feels like it's landing on you, whether it's a freaking mosquito, a bug, maybe a leaf. But it's whatever. It's besides the point. I've been making a habit to, get out of the house. Just, even if it's just for a moment. To just come out here and get some air and get out of that negative situation, But one of the things that I think that people forget the most is that a lot of us don't want to be here. A lot of us don't want to be, in this position where we don't have work and stuff like that. I hear some people, specifically usually people in these, doomer communities and stuff like that, try and tell you that, oh, if you're NEET, it's fine and stuff like that, just chill. But whilst I don't mind video games, whilst I don't mind just, exercising and working out and not having to work, unfortunately, I exist in a world where humanity has deceived humanity, a few humans convinced a whole bunch of other humans that let's invent something with no value and let's make it so that if you don't have this, you cannot operate in, essentially any freaking society. All societies have some form of currency, right? And whilst I might understand some form of currencies, I feel like the only currency that was actually worth anything was, bartering. Because bartering, the value is in the actual item, right? If someone was, trading lumber, there's obviously things you can do with lumber. If someone was trading cattle, there's things you can do with cattle. But, coins, gold, things like that. The only real metal that I could ever really see someone trading with is, iron and steel. And if I'm not mistaken, steel is a form of, iron that has been treated in some capacity. I can't remember exactly how, but I gotta brush up on that again. The point that I'm making is that was, the only real system that, people actually had some kind of value. There was actually inherent value because the value was in the item. Whereas now, the value is in the form of a currency, where the currency is all it really is just a promissory note. If crap hits the fan, no one's going to give a rat's arse about dollar bills, no one's going to give a rat's arse about coins. It's just going to go back to, resources, right? And so, yeah, people seem to think that we want to be here and stuff like that, and that we should just chill and stuff like that. And, some doomers just think that we should just try to make the most of it, but it's kind of hard to when there's so many things that you might want to do and you just can't do. And I'm not saying that, when you're stuck as a wage slave, the 9-to-5 grind, that it's going to get any better. I know that it's not really going to get better, but it's at least a gateway to hopefully better opportunities. And I'm going to hope and pray that it does not start raining out here, but unfortunately, this is kind of the best time to get outside in Florida, because Florida is always hot these days. I'm not saying it's probably global warming, but it's definitely some kind of local warming, if anything, If you don't believe in global warming, maybe believe in local warming, because, trust me, cities, if you drive far enough, I'm telling you, it's the truth. If you drive far enough, you can, look out and see the smog over cities, and you bet your arse that has some kind of impact on that climate. I don't care what anyone says. Not that I'm trying to get too off topic, but I am just saying, essentially, it's usually just a gateway. And, unfortunately, with a lot of doomers, they just say, I don't want to wage slave forever, and I don't understand, what they want, right? You have to work. even if you weren't working for corporations, because listen, there's a huge difference between like working for yourself and like you were the main beneficiary, and working for like employment, like what we have so-called work now. There's a huge difference, right? But it doesn't have to be forever, especially if you have the opportunities to like look elsewhere. I don't know what to tell anyone, like depending on like what country you're in. This is different based on country. Like if you were like some dude in freaking Africa or Nigeria or something like that, then it's like I don't really know what kind of opportunities you have. I don't know if like there's a way for you to get tons of money and stuff like that so that you don't have to like work as hard anymore. But there was a lady in Nigeria, I don't think that she's by herself, but she like, created a like tire recycling facility, so I do think it is possible. To an extent, no matter where you are, if you are like, creative enough. But it's probably still very much difficult, to make that happen. But it's an opportunity, it's a stepping stone, because I despise, the situation that I'm in. I really do. I hate this neighborhood. I hate the drama that goes on, and unfortunately, my family's house. I hate it. I hate how unnecessary everything is. I hate how, for some reason, people just have to be so problematic for no reason, And I say this as a guy who's mainly quiet, who mainly keeps to myself and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I don't have a freaking backbone, mind you. I just like solitude. I prefer peace and quiet. And you don't really get that around here. You don't get that by a long shot. Not by a long shot, man. So, like, the only way that I can change this situation is to, like, make stuff happen. And the only way that you can make stuff happen is through working and getting that dumb arse debt-based fiat currency to, like, get out of this situation. It is essentially, your only hope. It's so annoying that you have to deal with that in the first place, it really is, but I don't really think that there's, I'm not going to say an alternative. Like, I do think that humanity can have a better way of doing things. We have so much surplus in today's day and age, and people still starve and they're homeless and stuff like that. And by no means am I one of these idiots that just says, oh, everyone just is entitled to or something like that. I'd argue that everyone deserves the right to, like, have their own stuff. But it doesn't mean that it should be provided, in my opinion. When the state's essentially telling you that you don't have the right to hunt, you don't have the right to fish, you don't have the right to build, but we do, no. It's like when someone tries to tell you that taxes aren't theft, and they try and say how somehow, merely by your freaking existence that is not of your own will, you are already indebted to society. No, nigga, that's not how that works. Not by a long shot. I didn't choose to be born. I didn't choose the parents that I had. I didn't choose my beginnings. And so when these cocksuckers try and tell you that somehow taxes are not theft merely because we were able to be born into so-called protection, of society, we owe society our, like, freaking lives, essentially. No, we do not. No, we do not. Because the fact of the matter is, society doesn't really let you choose. If you try and live on your own, if you try and hunt on your own without permits and stuff like that, they will find you. They will come for you. Just ask every kind of person that has tried to set up their own little community. Ask the people of Waco, Texas. Oh, wait, they're dead. Ask the people at the Garden of Eden. Oh, wait, they got kicked out. Every time, and I'm not talking about the biblical Garden of Eden. There was, like, a whole bunch of hippies that formed, like, some kind of little, like, I guess vegan community or something like that. They weren't messing with anybody. They grew their own food. They did all that stuff. They get swatted. Guns are aimed at freaking kids. They're aimed at children. Yeah. That's your freaking state. But we owe these people? Are you kidding? No, that's not how that works. Not by a long shot. We don't owe them anything. And they don't really feel like they owe us anything. So I don't really know why someone has the gall to say something that freaking blasphemous, in my opinion. We don't owe these cocksuckers anything. Nothing. Nothing at all. Honestly, all I can really do at this point, in my position, is just hope and pray that I can, get a job recently. I've got interviews lined up, but interviews don't mean anything. Like, I've had several interviews, but they don't mean anything. They don't always lead to anything. And with this constant freaking data mining and this, like, data selling of your information, it's like, it's insane. Like, I'm getting, like, as I've noticed this, like, as I look for work, I've been seeing a massive increase in the amounts of spam calls that I get. And some of them are legit. Some of them are not scams, because when I call the place that I've been, like, trying to get employed at, saying, hey, listen, I never got a response because I emailed them, and they responded to my email. Then I emailed them again, trying to schedule a time. They never respond. They say that they call me, and I see, like, 10 freaking scam calls. They're not from the same company, because I answered, like, 3 of them. So there are just people just selling your data. And then there are people that are actually serious, unfortunately popping up as scam only, and then you just skip out on them. It's just a cluster. It really is. It's a freaking dumpster fire. That's what it is. It's dumpster fire. That's all it is. Yeah. But one of the things I'm going to try and do is, when I do start working, I'm just going to save up. Because I really just want to get out of this crap hole. I'm in an awful city. Probably one of the worst cities in Florida. Easy. There's crime all the time. There's gun shops all the time. It's freaking miserable. And they have the goal to try and charge you, $1,500 to be in a neighborhood where you can get shot and whatnot. I'd rather just pay the $1,500 in a neighborhood where I can actually walk outside and, have relative peaceful, like, just outdoor sessions, I guess, like, just something like that. I know 9 times out of 10 I'm just screaming in a void, but, I feel like, personally, like, this kind of stuff is, like, way more helpful than actual therapy, just because, for one, it's free, and for two, it's like you're just recording your thoughts, and you can just have them on your channel if you post them there, and then if somebody can relate, they can relate, and if they can't, they can't, whatever. It kind of is what it is, right? I know I started this kind of channel, like, about other stuff, and I was kind of, like, my first video, I'm, like, talking about, like, the illegals, and trust me, I've got some more stuff to say about that. Like, probably, maybe tomorrow, after I'm done recording this and stuff like that, and I'll upload this. Because there's a whole lot to talk about, especially in, like, these terrible states like New York and Chicago. Well, I think Chicago, Illinois. Illinois is a state, if I'm not mistaken. Might be wrong. But, yeah. I've got a whole bunch more to talk about in relation to that. But as of this right now, I guess, I'm really just talking about, and I'm just very ready to leave this place, and I'm so sick of not really being able to do anything, I hope to God that it doesn't rain tomorrow, because I have to walk to that interview. If it rains, I guess. I'll just, like, ball up a freaking, like, raincoat and just take it with me, I guess. But, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here. Sorry that this is, again, like, it's not as structured as my, like, previous video, but right now it's just kind of mainly me just venting, just talking into the void right now. I doubt anyone's really listening, except God, but that's about it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this. Hope you enjoyed if you are here, and God bless. I'll see you next time.